Hey guys, so let's look at a program to convert speed from kilometer per hour to meters per second. After this, we'll look at how to convert meters per second units to kilometer per hour. So the formula for converting is, if the speed is in kilometer per hour, 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. So you multiply the numerator by 1000 and 1 hour is 3600 seconds. So you multiply the denominator by 3600. So both of them will divide by 200, where the numerator will remain 5 and the denominator will remain 18. So technically you just have to multiply it by 5 by 18 to convert it to meters per second. And if the speed is in units of meters per second, you just multiply it by the reciprocal of this, which is 18 by 5, to convert it into kilometer per hour. So since we have an fractions involving inside the program, let's go ahead and put the speed as a float data type. So the float speed is going to be a float data type. And let's say I'm going to ask my user for entering the speed in kilometers per hour. So enter speed, and let's give a suggestion of unit as kilometer per hour, and take the input scanf, %f, and ampersand speed. You can go ahead and directly printf speed in meters per second and %f, where in this part of writing the value, you can go ahead and write speed into asterisk 5 by 18. And there you will get the speed in meters per second. If it's the opposite way, you can write this statement for entering the speed in meters per second, and let's say the scanf is also the same thing, so it's a ditto, and the printf statement will be only different, where the printf will be speed in kilometers per hour is %f, and at the value you just got to write speed asterisk 18 by 5, and this will print. This program now will enable the conversion of both kilometer per hour to meters per second and meters per second to kilometers per hour. Now let's see how this works in the code. So let's go about declaring two variables, one for kilometer per hour and one for meters per second. We'll generalize it later. So I'm going to start with the statement where writing to ask the user to enter the speed in the units of kilometer per hour, and I'll write my scanf statement for %f and ampersand the value in kmh. So meters per second variable msec is going to be equal to kilometers per hour into 5 by 18. And let's go ahead and printf speed is in meters per second. Meters per second is going to be %f and the variable is msec. So this will print, and let's just run this much. So if they enter the speed in kilometer per hour, let's say 100, and the conversion is 27.7999. I'll just shorten it down to 2 decimal points. Speed in kilometer per hour 100 is 27.78. Now to convert from meters per second to kilometers per hour, it's the same thing in the opposite. So obviously I'll be asking here as meters per second. Work out bit by bit, and then you can always make it a bigger program. So the variable is msec, and on the left hand side is going to be kilometers per hour, kmh, and this is going to be meters per second into 18 divided by 5. And the speed in kilometer per hour is going to be kmh. So let's run the program. Let's say in 100 kilometers per hour, the value is going to be 27.78. So if it was 100 meters per second, it was going to be, yes, 360.00 kilometers per hour. Now, let's go ahead by shortening this speed. It's just going to be one variable that we enter. So the user is also going to enter the speed, and the new value of speed, or let's just say we want to ignore the statement. I'll just replace this as speed and copy this into the place where I just want to print. So I don't have to write another expression for it. Just Control V and get rid of the statement. There I've reduced one more statement. Now entering in meters per second also into the same variable speed, and let's change this variable to speed and copy paste this into the space where I want to print it. I pressed undo. So speed into 18 by 5 is going to be cut pasted at the point where I want to print, and I'll get rid of that statement too. Let's run the program once again. For 100 the value was 27.78, and for 100 meters second it was 360 kilometers per hour. There. We started with a big program where we had two variables and we had 4 sets of statement for entering, printing, asking the user, entering the value, calculating, as well as printing the calculated value. Now we've shortened everything into just 3 statements and 1 variable. Gradually build your way up to a better and brief program. Thank you.